Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley, and this is going to be Shogun 2 Total War Mixed Battle Attack on a fortified castle right over there. So, I am actually going to be part of the defensive force back over there. The unit size is going to be rather small, but that's not going to negate the fact that there is a huge number of forces arrayed to attack us. So, at the forefront of this force is going to be a massive... Oh, actually, let's go ahead and let's not miss this just yet. Damn, we missed it. Sort of. So, it looks like the enemy force here has a shit ton of bow ashigaru, an entire force, almost all of bow ashigaru, with some bow samurai and a couple ashigaru and lone sword. So this is a big, cheap spam with some light cavalry thrown in. Very, very cheap spam. Meanwhile, we had some katana cav that came out of the city, deployed right over there, and ran up. Even the general's bodyguard is getting in on the fight. So we're going to go ahead and watch some of this as our forces honorably sally out. And again, with the small unit sizes, you'll see it's going to be an uphill battle for us. Let's actually watch with these outnumbered heroic katana trying to face off against the enemy forces. Some bow fire is actually coming in, and you can see in the distance enemy reinforcements coming in, some horsemen coming in, but you are getting swamped here. Starting to get totally picked apart. Just surrounded and slaughtered. The general is popping all his rally abilities that he can, just trying to do everything to wipe out these forces. We took out a pretty significant amount of bows. We're going to continue to just clean up some of these bows, but the remaining force in the middle is actually getting taken apart by the enemy bow general, who's just like a badass here, standing 5 feet away, shooting into the mass of his own men. He is just intent on killing the enemy force, which is now whittled down. So my allies general is going to be expunged here, destroyed, all due to the reinforcing Matchlock Kachi just firing into these guys. But you know, holy crap, it's not without its own benefits. These guys are really happy, but we got them to force them to do a little bit of friendly fire. So here the force is going to continue its assault. You can see now the sheer numbers running at us. Up front, 2 Matchlock Kachi, 2 Boki moving forward. The remainder of the force here, the modern force, is going to have the general's bodyguard overlooking 2 of these Armstrong guns firing into the city. That is going to be devastating. Some spear levy here, not too much to be scared of. We'll go back and we'll watch this soon. They're just shelling our forces. Over on this side, we got another enemy force, a traditional force, but this time with, let's put this on pause. These are going to be some rocket troops. I don't know if you guys have seen those fire rockets, so going to be firing off against us. The force is comprised of 3 of those bow ashigarus in the back, some Naginata samurai, good choice, very armored troops in the back. Some bow warrior monks, 2 of those bow warrior monks, and the general's bodyguard. Oh, that's cool. Sorry, just wanted to look at the terraces. Love the nice little details in Shogun 2. It's always a pleasure to play this game. But yeah, they're going to be meaning to take out this part of our defenses. You can see that they're very devastating. They're going to be opening up a causeway, an avenue into the fortress itself. Going to be shelling this position. Meanwhile, more shots are landing on the front gates. We're going to try and evacuate this position. Let's go ahead and look over our forces. So, we've got a mix of units. Going to be 3 of us holding fast in the city, but there's not many of our forces left. And so what we decided to do is quality over quantity, as opposed to our opponents doing a lot of quantity. I've got in the front 1 bow warrior monk unit. It's going to start being shelled by the opponents, and that shrapnel is somehow going to kill 2 of my men, even though it landed over here. So those Armstrong guns, perhaps overpowered. It's going to nonetheless force me back. I have my Mojo babies. Also, you know, you guys have seen these numerous times. What they are is going to be the long spear Yari Ashigaru, excellent at holding back the enemy force. I figured with such numbers, you know, these guys are going to be crucial. I want to hold the enemy at bay with a relatively cheap unit. I just have to make sure they don't get shot to death. Then in the back, I have... Oh man, we're getting shelled to death. In the back over here, I have lone heroes. These are my extremely vetted lone sword ashigaru. And I also have some of my own katana hero backing my general up. And you can see the entire fortress is just getting rocked by the incoming shots. Our right side has been destroyed. Let's go over and see what we have here. Our ally over here has some bow warrior monks trying to hold against the wall, but you can see they're also going to be taking pretty severe casualties. The rest of his forces down here. Matchlock samurai. You may wonder where the rest of his force was. Well, those were the katana cav in general that were already sicked against the enemy force. They traded relatively okay. They dwindled the enemy numbers, cut them down pretty effectively. The remaining force is going to be made up of Vermilion Bird Force, not really the most cost-effective unit you could have chosen, but they're going to be holding firm behind our lines. cowering behind the giant fortress, hoping that this holds back the shells of the Armstrong guns that is going to continue to just pepper us. And yeah, we're going to be falling back. They're just trying to make sure that they destroy the gatehouses, the towers, everything is going to be going down. Now they are moving up with their rockets. And oh god, I hadn't seen this. Oh my god, what a perfect freaking shots into there, sniping us on the side. So there is no safety for our men. We're going to get some nice counter volleys with these bow warrior monks. I wonder if we're actually going to hit anything. Looks like these rocket troops are going to get out in the clear. So very scary troops. You can see we have nothing really to force them back. Besides a couple of those arrows just narrowly missing. But actually, no, it looks like we brought up our matchlock, so we're going to be able to punish those men. Holy shit, just gunning those guys down. One of them getting shot in the ankle. So yeah, we're definitely, sorry about that. I said we weren't going to punish them. No, we gave them their, due punishment. So there you go. The rocket troops definitely doing a good job. Perhaps not quite paying for themselves yet. Holy crap, those bow warrior monks. Man, so close to taking those guys out. That is insane. But anyways, you can see they did their job. These guys destroyed some of the walls here, got some crucial shots into our men, laid waste to them. We're going to be pulling back and reforming. However, this is kind of in range of that Armstrong gun. Luckily, it's been distracted over here. Somewhat luckily, but it's taking out my high tier guys, so perhaps not good for us to go for high tier units, which can easily be sniped by various Armstrong guns and rocket units, because every devastating shot is going to be doing a lot of damage. More shots raining in on the ramparts. Just exploding on my units. I don't think I actually lost. No, I lost one guy there. So I'm just desperately trying to pull back. You can see some arrows on the ground here too. I was getting shelled by the enemy force. Now you can see them moving up into position. All these Bow Ashigaru. They're going to be trying to move up on these ramparts. Just tons and tons of those guys. We're continuing to just get pushed left and right. Vermilion Bird Force, not entirely sure where it wants to go here. We're at the mercy of the attackers. So at this point we're like, man, this is pretty hopeless here. Nonetheless, we're just going to tank it out to the end. They're going to make sure they take out their towers, the gatehouses, everything is going to be easy. Now, we do have over here, however, our bow warrior monks are in some relative safety. You can watch these guys as they start to get some shots off, and look at the extreme range. They're going to be hitting these units that were hoping to hide out in this little ditch. I love this feature of the map, giving your guys a little protected place to be. Let's actually see if we can't get some nice shots of these watermelon covered troops here. Trying to hide in the ditch. We're going to be picking apart the enemy bow warrior monk. I mean, relatively so. Doing some damage here and there. Them taking cover behind the hill. Our own forces taking cover. Oh no, we're one level up. Here you can see how many of those shots actually missed, but a fair amount actually starting to ding our guys. We're going to pull out of that combat. We just want to do little bits of damage here and there where we can. We don't want to tank it out in prolonged engagements. We want to pull the enemy forces in. Once they're up against the walls, then we can perhaps charge them. So allow them to come in range of our towers and whatnot. Do as much damage as possible right there. We left a couple casualties in their wake. Nonetheless, the rest of the force here is going to be moving up the hill. Starting to form up in front of the battlements. Still a rather formidable castle in front of them. They're going to be sending up their bow warrior monks very, very close. Going to try and get some shots off against our men. This could be deadly. We're going to be actually getting some counter volleys. So some crazy, ridiculous stunt shots here, and you can see. Don't tell me that's not beautiful. This is deadly. We should really be seeking cover. This is not good for us. So our ally kind of losing his men right there. I would put them behind the fortress or even somewhere else. The rest of our guys have taken up cover back here. We've been cleared out from these early positions. All these units are swarming up. I did, however, put my bow warrior monks in a nice little area where they can't be directly shelled. You can see the wall in front of them definitely got shelled, but they're in a nice little hole. And from this position, we'll watch some of these shots. Gonna start to chip away. Every shot, every couple volleys, we'll watch these. Gonna take out a couple more of these guys who are not quite sure where they want to commit. So the longer they delay, the better for us. In the distance, however, they are going to be clambering over the walls. That means the first courtyard is going to be taken soon. However, like I said, every couple volleys. But they're going to try and inch closer. You can see the range of those guys trying to get within closing distance of my men. The enemy forces are throwing torches up through here. They're trying to burn down the tower. They're going to be moving up to the terrace. They've also started to seize this position. But it looks like actually we still have some of our matchlocks still alive, shooting units that made it up to the top. So we are still, however, doing okay. I lost my friend, is still alive, but keep in mind this is our ally. So he has Matchlock Samurai, which can take some enemy archer fire, and they're just going to be shooting up Naginata Samurai point blank range. They're going to get flanked by cavalry soon, dismounting and moving up to the top, but that's fine. The walls are giving us enough delaying action to clean up these forces, and then perhaps mount the walls and shoot down here. We've lost the first area, and look at all these forces pouring up through the top. That's going to be scary. My Bone Warrior monks are going to have to pull back soon, but they want to keep getting their shots on. Over in the front, the enemy forces are going to start to push up, but these are traditional forces, and so let's watch a little bit of what we're going to do to respond to these guys. And we're just going to unleash with the Vermilion Bird Force. Some nice flanking shots. Naginata Samurai, however, are going to start to make it up into the walls. This is not a position we want to be in. We do, however, start cutting these guys. Oh my god, decapitations left and right. We're going to pull back to have perhaps better range, better shots. And yeah, now some point blank against the units wedged up against the wall. Some of our Bow Warrior monks helping out. And we're going to be lining up, shooting anyone who dares get over the walls. So it's in these piecemeal engagements where the numbers won't work well against our opponents. They're somehow trying to commit to our guys, but devastating volleys is going to start to shock them. They're going to be pouring through the wall, so numbers are going to be slowly turning against us. We did lose one force, completely overwhelmed. The second force is going to be tanked right there. Going to put this on pause. The problem with our opponents is they're attacking piecemeal. So for instance over here, our Matchlock Samurai was able to kill this guy. Now he's on the wall. He's going to start shooting at the enemy general. He can then clean up these Boki. So we've secured this position with just one unit and one tower. Pretty happy with that. The rest of our forces are going to climb up, and that will be, you know, devastating to us if they can get up. However, they're not going to quite get there in time. Because our opponent sent just some Vanguard forces to tie us down, maybe that gives us cover for the second wing, but they're not launching everything at once, at least on that side. Over here, they're being a little more cautious. They're sending up the remainder of their forces very, very slowly. You see all these bows start to move up. My Bow Warrior monks pulling back even further, trying to take out Matchlock Key and other units like that. And here, we're lining up, sacrificing some units into the mix. We're going to shoot these guys up with enfilading fire. My Katana heroes are also going to engage. Try and clean that up. And over here I'm going to charge with my general straight into these Bow Warrior monks and other bow units who are trying to do supporting fire. Again, this is not the best force to attack, and we're going to start breaking this force, shattering them. The unit that was being shot up, point blank range, is now going to have some of my Katana heroes in the mix. No one can stand up to the Katana heroes, so depleted forces are exactly who I want to send my my guys against. You can see them already cheering. We cleared out the first enemy defenders. I'm going to pull out of gun range. My guy's seemingly dodging allied bullets. But there you go. We cleaned up the first wave. My general is going to be running rampant up here, killing first wave of troops. My Lone Sword heroes lost one unit, but they're going to be chopping up the remaining forces here. Going to work cutting apart these bows. I mean, take a look at this. We're getting some enemy bow fire. You can see some of my guys taking some damage, but I think it was worth it. And here comes my general. So we cleaned up this wave. Like I said, we were able to force the enemy general back, get some shots against him. The cavalry that was dismounting up here is Boki, so they can shoot at us. So we're just going to merely pull back. Knocked out this first wave. A second wave of Red Bear infantry is moving up here. Now these guys are deadlier to charge because once they're up on the walls, they can, you know, they already have their guns. They can get some shots off. So that is going to be scary for us to engage. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull back and let them come to us. We've secured the top plaza with the charge of my Katana hero. And now we can get some guns on the walls shooting down on the enemy forces. That's exactly where you want to fight a gun battle, is from a higher position with greater cover. Down on these open plains, again, these Japanese castles are meant to be killing fields. The main pressure is going to be over here. This is the scary part. We're dealing, you know, cost effectively over there. Oh man. Oh man, our allies general. Yeah, like I told you, you can't sally out. Even though these guys aren't fully formed, they will still destroy anything you send against them. So I kind of use my allies' sacrificial charge to my advantage and charge in with my own general from the flank just to break up these guys. But like I said, they're going to just shoot you up immediately. So very, very desperate of me to charge it through there. I pop Bonsai so my general doesn't break just to engage long enough. We're going to start to get my Lone Sword Ashigaros in on the mix. Put this on play, and like I said, just giving me enough cover to start coming in with some supporting fire up top. Let's watch some of my Lone Sword heroes charging across the field against the enemy forces. Allied shots here raining in, cleaning the forces up behind us, cleaning the rear of our guys. Just destroying anything behind. My general still somehow alive. Lone Sword heroes are going to push forward. I'm going to try and tie down everything I can. And right now you heard my general was injured, so there goes my general, but he sacrificed himself to clean up a huge number of forces, tie up the enemy guys for my Lone Sword Ashigaru to come in here and start chopping up against these low quality troops. Meanwhile, however, the remainder of the forces are going to be pouring in through here. A lot of the bows, still huge numbers, going to be moving up. This is an entire army, still, you know, relatively unmolested, coming up. The general, that badass, shooting into his own men from before, is going to be moving up into position. They're at the second causeway, and we're left with almost nothing here. I'm pulling back my single general's unit, still somehow alive. I'm going to try and engage these guys. Here come my Mojo babies, and they're going to be the first front. And you can see with these long spears, yes, they're getting charged and thrown about, but it's a reckless charge from my opponent. We're going to engage with these long spears. I'm going to throw in my bow warrior monks just to try and tie down these cav as soon as possible. And then I'm going to reposition immediately. And now the enemy numbers are going to be working against them. They're going to be streaming up against our guys. You can see them coming forward, but I've delayed the initial push. I'm going to now reform into a spear wall, and then we're going to hold this position. They're going to try and charge into me, and there we go. Now we've deployed the spears. This is where exactly where I want to hold. So here come the enemy numbers. See all of them trying to pour into our guys. They even had some forces up on the top, charging the most of this force. Everything thrown up against my Mojo babies. 52 men and holding, one general's unit in the background. Up top, I can show you what's been going on over here. We've cleaned up the enemy forces here due to my Lone Sword Ashigaru. I'm not quite sure where they went. They may have been destroyed by the combined Yari Ashigaru and gunfire here, so looks like they may have been destroyed. But my Katana hero is still up top. We have some remaining Matchlock Samurai from my ally. Going to be shooting into some of the Yarikachi who climbed up on the wall. So most of the force going down there. Some of the elite forces sent up to the top to try and delay us. And the few, the proud, the brave, are going to be up here holding out, chopping the enemy forces. Here, let's watch some of my Katana Samurai slice into the enemy forces. They're going to be securing the top of this position and just doing work. You can see them left and right cutting these guys apart. So we are not going to give up without a fight here. My Katana hero is still 10 out of 10, just slicing through anything that's left over on the top. These Matchlock Samurai being very, very helpful. So over here, actually I've been able to hold back the blue tide with my brilliant defense with these long spear Ashigaru. The enemy forces are starting to just get routed at this position. The enemy general is going to try and rally them. They have more units streaming in, but they've been forced up against my Mojo babies. They're now going to try and pull back, and look who we're going to place them with. This is straight out of like Lord of the Rings movie or something like that, where now you send in the heroes to do mopping up operations. And so we're going to charge straight into this force and just start cutting them up left and right. We even have some of these units up top and supporting fire. Going to be watching the destruction down here, hoping to avoid some of my Matchlock heroes. Or sorry, Matchlock heroes would be interesting. Katana heroes, yeah, cleaning everyone here. You can see some of the enemy forces climbing away for their lives. They're trying to run away from my Mojo babies. It has just been turned into a killing ground over here. Clean up the enemy force in this position. They are, however, charging through the back. The enemy general's bodyguard charging our men. We have some Vermilion Bird Force here, shooting the guys, trying to climb the walls. It has become a desperate, desperate affair. Here is going to be the last main group of units. Most of them are choosing to forgo the assault against my Katana heroes, who are just continuing. I mean, look at all the kills they got over there. My long spear Yari Ashigaru letting them do work, and let's watch my guys as they just cut up the enemy forces. No surrender here. We're just going to be eating this up. Like I said, some forces are going to try and escape, but we have some remaining gunner units dehorsing some of the enemy general's bodyguard. So he's going to be starting to rout. A couple of them are going to get up over the walls, promptly try and engage us, but they're going to get cut up and destroyed soon. Enemy forces are having a shootout with us up top, so they're threatening our rear. We're getting pretty close to getting flanked. I mean, we got a couple shots off here. This is like a civil war scenario. Not looking good for us up top. The enemy is being held at bay slightly. Bows against some of our Matchlock Samurai, again being crucial, holding down the entire right flank. Here comes some shots, but yeah, these guys are dwindling in numbers. Let's go back and watch what happened over here. And there you go. my Katana hero losing 3 men in that engagement, completely saving our ass on this flank. Broke the entire of the enemy force. The remainder is still up here. We're going to charge forward with some of our Vermilion bird force, just as a holding tactic. The enemy general here with his revolver is going to try and reload and hold back our guys, but now we're going to be able to unleash on him. And I hope we get to take him out, this coward with the Armstrong gun. It's like he's going to be running away in that direction. But yeah, we killed that force, destroyed it on all sides, and then the bowmen on this side were destroyed. So that was a ridiculous fight. I've never played... Okay, when I first started this fight, I'm like, okay, it's low funds, there's no way it can be epic. Secondly, I saw this is a huge force on this flank that has more numbers than us. They have an Armstrong gun. There's no way we can win. I was verbally angry in chat when they brought Armstrong guns and were getting hits with the artillery. We're destroying our guys left and right. I called it. It's over. But to see us rally it back like that, that was something I was cheering for, and that I hope you guys were cheering for throughout this replay. Let's go ahead and look at some of the stats on that, because clearly there was some epic heroism in that fight that allowed us to pull that one out. That was simply beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed. But yeah, I'm trying to see who got the most kills. Probably some of the Matchlock guys that were supporting us. Oh, yeah, it looks like I got the most kills. Enemy force is definitely not getting any good number of kills. Here's Rising Rapture, 770 men. I mean, look at my allies. We had 75 men here, 145, 210. So together, that's what, 200, 300, 400 men total on our side versus 1,500. So we were outnumbered by a huge margin in that. And let's take a look at the heroes. Organize this by kills. Actually, my lone sword Ashiguro, 173 Katana heroes. Remember, these are just 10 men. Killing 161 men. 16 kills apiece on these guys. Long Yari Ashigaru, 160 kills. General's Bodyguard, 60. Bow Warrior Monks actually being perhaps some of the most expensive units, getting almost no kills. Let's see, where are the Armstrong guns? 58 kills on those guys. And yeah, that was just a beautiful fight. Like I said here, these Matchlock Samurai just excellent, holding that whole right flank. The Katana charge that they did was perhaps not very effective. 55 kills is all we got out of that. Enemy Bodyguard thrown into that, 53 kills against cheap units, perhaps not the best. Vermilion Bird Force 106, but that's about it. So yeah, this spam army here, definitely not used correctly or paying for itself at all. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was definitely one of the most epic small sieges I've ever seen. The scale was awesome, and the tides of battle definitely turned in our favor in quite a dramatic way. So anyways, I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing what your recommendations are in the future. Peace out.